Follow us. Go to kzoz.com. You can follow the podcast. You can listen live, all that fun stuff. Time to pick the closest games of the week. It's the Red Zone Challenge, brought to you by Firestone Walker Brew, where last week, the one and only Jeffrey Lewis Kingman went 5-0 and is now sitting at 22-13.
Am I the first to go to 5-0?
You are. You knew that. So why are you bringing it up like you didn't know it?
I just wanted to make sure. Wasn't there a week where Ali...
Hashtag toot your own horn.
Wasn't there a week where Ali... We thought he was going to go 5-0?
He went 4-1 twice, but he has not gone 5-0.
This is like
Still haven't hit the 5-0.
So congratulations, Jeff.
When you do, Ali, I'll be there to open the door for you and welcome you into the club.
I don't think it's going to be this week.
Let's see here. Ollie, you're up. You're going to pick second today after going 4-1 last week. You're at 20-15. I went 4-1 and finally have reached the 500 mark. We're all over 500. I'm at 18-17. Hopefully I can go forward and not backwards moving from this point on. All right. So the 5 closest games of the week. You can always check out this podcast. It's at kzoz.com. Don't forget, if you play every week, you can win 2 tickets to go to the Firestone Invitational coming up this spring. $200 to spin at the brewery or the tap room, some swag, and bragging rights. We start off with Seattle. The 3-3 Seahawks coming off a bye week, traveling to Detroit to take on the 3-3 Lions. The Lions at home are a 3-point favorite, Jeff.
Ooh. You know, I love me some Seattle Seahawks action. You know I'm all about the Seattle Seahawks.
Every time you pick against the Seahawks, by the way, going back in the books, I looked this up before we started, the Seahawks have won and you have lost. So I'm going to pick Seattle because I'm faithful, number one. That's why I've been with the same woman for 25 years. And number two, there is no number 2. I'm just faithful.
Do you know what team has the second worst record in history coming off of a bye week? I'm going to give you a hint. We just spent a lot of time talking about it.
Why are you going to bring up this kind of stuff?
The Seattle Seahawks, since the bye started in, 2003, I think it was, they are 13-22 coming off of a bye. They have a 37 win percentage. Playing straight chalk here. And
I got to think they want to get off that nasty 13 number. So that gives them more incentive to win, to get to 14.
I don't know. Something tells me about the Seahawks this year, though. I think they're going to be a surprise team. I really do. Detroit upgraded their defense today. They got one of the defensive tackles from the Giants in the Giants' latest fire sale.
Didn't the Giants also trade somebody to New Orleans, too?
Yeah, Eli Apple went to New Orleans. Yeah, Giants, dude, we're going to pick that game in a minute. And trust me. I think I know which way everybody's going on that one. Boy, it's hard to pick against the Seattle Seahawks. But on the road, coming off of a bye, hell, I'm going to pick Seattle. I got a lead. I'm going to pick Seattle.
Come on, go Detroit.
Pick Seattle.
Are you sure? What about Kerryon Johnson? Got a hard on for him all week.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Seattle on this one.
All right, Ollie, where you at?
I'll take Detroit. What the hell? I knew you guys were going to take Seattle, so
this is where you can get one.
No rhyme or reason.
Really boring last week. We agreed on every single matchup except for that Arizona-Detroit.
And we were right too. I mean, we all went 4-1. I was thinking about that over the weekend, and that Arizona pick, boy, oh boy, were we just so off.
We were so off, they fired the offensive coordinator.
But I remember you saying from the beginning of time that Mike McCoy was a terrible coach. So I think that, if you would have just stuck to your guns on that front, then you would have been fine.
So Jeff and I take Seattle. Ollie takes Detroit. We move on. The 4-2 Skins travel to New York to take on the 1-6 Giants. Washington, a 1-point favorite in this one, Jeff.
Give me the favorite, but I'm surprised they're not a 7-point favorite. I'm going to go Redskins all the way.
Ollie.
Same. Washington. Yeah.
What is there to say?
I don't know.
What is there to say about the Giants except for they suck?
Except for
Eli's terrible.
You asked Vegas.
No faith.
A big question mark. That's what there is to say on this one. I mean, I just don't. Now, this is the opening lines that we're doing. We're doing this on Wednesday. I could see this moving in Washington's favor as the week goes on, especially as it seems like the Giants are just letting players go for a song in order to rebuild. But yeah, the Redskins.
Washington's a little banged up, though, right? I mean, isn't Chris Thompson messed up?
From an offense standpoint, yeah.
Some receivers that are hurt.
But they were banged up last week, and they beat a better Dallas team than what they're facing in the New York Giants.
Right.
So to give me Redskins. And Redskins are in first place in the in the NFC East. They're in first place.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that might kind of keep this pretty close is that Washington, even with their wins, they haven't. It's not like they've been dominant wins. They've been very lucky to keep winning. Nothing's moved yet. It's still at 1.
Okay.
So I think we'll see.
I should have gave you this but you can always look at it too when you go to the Red Zone Challenge to see where they're at. 87% of the Red Zone Nation is picking the Washington Redskins to beat the New York Giants. All right, so with that said, now I think those first 2 games, kind of whatever. These next 3, I think, are kind of interesting, and they're a little bit tougher to pick. The 4-3 Baltimore Ravens, a 1.5-point favorite going into Carolina to take on Cam, and the 4-2 Jaguars. Jeff.
Fresh off their victory over the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles, where they rallied for 17. They were down 17-0 and came back and won 21-17.
And quite the opposite for Baltimore, who had it, at least to go to overtime, and shanked an extra point, which was the craziest shank I've ever seen when a ball starts out straight and right before it goes to the uprights. You talk about Halloween and ghosts. Some ghost came in and pushed that ball out of the way.
I like Carolina. I like the direction that they're going in right now. And I don't, and this is not necessarily to say I don't like Baltimore. But this is like one of those ones where I'm just going to pick the home team because I think the home team has the advantage. The only advantage in this game, an even matchup, is the home team. Baltimore, I think, is good. I think they're a really good team, and I just think they're going to experience this downturn in the middle of the season before they correct things. And I'm just going to pick the Carolina Panthers only because they're catching the Baltimore Ravens at the proper time.
I have no feel for this game. Baltimore, God, this is a tough one. Just to try to catch up, I'll take Baltimore on this. They do have a really good defense going into Carolina. Carolina did look good coming back in that game. I will give you that. Baltimore, I feel like they just had bad luck on that last game, shanking that kick. So I'll take Baltimore going in here, see if I can get a couple games on you. Pick up the lead.
Yeah. Oh, boy, this is tough. Yeah, right, one way or the other. I kind of was liking Carolina going into this. Their losses this year have come from Cleveland and from Cincinnati, which is really odd, right? Because when you think of both of those teams, you don't think of great football programs, as well as New Orleans, which we saw was very close. Carolina comes back last week. These guys were right in it. I don't know. I just feel like I think I like what you had to say, Ali. I'm going to go with Baltimore also because I think I need to catch Jeff, too. I'm the one sitting 4 games back.
Interesting that you bring up the teams that they beat because common opponent on that one, Cincinnati, was defeated by Carolina in Carolina earlier this year. So, Carolina, just saying, home field advantage against that NFC. I mean, I guess that AFC North. You know, maybe there's something to that. Moving on. What are we doing next, Jeremy?
The 5-1 Saints travel to take on the 4-2-1 Minnesota Vikings. They're traveling to Minnesota. The Vikings, a 1-point favorite.
Oh, New Orleans straight juice, aren't they? Straight juice across the board.
Their defense is getting better.
Defense is getting. They got Eli Apple. Ali mentioned that earlier in the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Saints. I'm going to go New Orleans.
New Orleans on the road.
Yeah.
I'm also taking New Orleans. I think they're definitely playoff bound. They're frisky. They are a frisky team. They seem like that defense is only getting better every week they play. They started off pretty rough. That offense is unbelievable. So, yeah, give me New Orleans in this game. It scares me a little bit that Minnesota is favored in this game, just because, I guess they got a powerful team, but still, come on, New Orleans looks amazing right now.
Some question marks at running back for the Vikings.
Right, but they have a lot of other weapons.
But the other weapons is what you typically would expose against the New Orleans Saints. So
the number one receiver in the game right now, Adam Thielen, with 7 games at over 100 yards per game. He's shattering records left and right. So whoever talks smack that I took him in the 3rd round of our fantasy draft can eat an hiccup.
I will.
They beat the Jets, the Cardinals, and Philadelphia. I guess the only one you can really take serious is Philadelphia in their last 3 games. Their other win comes over San Francisco. They tied with Green Bay. They lost to Buffalo. It was a weird game. And, of course, the Rams. And that was a close game as well, a touchdown. But I need to make them up. And I think this one can go either way. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think we're going to see what we saw last week. New Orleans defense is tough, but I'll have to see what happens here.
Tough against the run, which Minnesota has nothing of. So this is the script for just a shootout. Yes.
So there's my opportunity to maybe make another one up on you guys. All right, so I'll take Minnesota. All right, here we go. The Red Zone Challenge.
Here we go. Game of the week.
The MGM Sportsbook in Las Vegas has this as a pick'em. As the 1-6 San Francisco 49ers travel to Arizona to take on the 1-6 Cardinals.
Do the odds makers just look at this one and go, we got to move on to more important ones. Just make it a pick'em and we'll move on. We got to handicap New Orleans and Minnesota. We got to handicap Baltimore and Carolina. We don't have time for this San Francisco, Arizona. Just make it a pick'em. Oh.
No one's betting on this game. There's nobody betting on this game. It's terrible.
The standard minimum over-under of 43 on this, meaning they're expecting some scoring to come from mistakes.
I'm hoping it's a San Francisco defense who I've picked up this week.
I'm going to go. God, you know what?
There's no other defense.
I'm going with San Francisco on this one.
Look
just
at you!
I've been surprised by the play by, as Ali called him last year, CJ Beathard. When your name, I believe, quote Ali, he said, you can never have faith in a guy whose last name is Beathard.
Yes, I was watching that game without any sound on, and I was like, Beathard? What the heck is that? That is not a good name. I also am going to go with the 49ers after I can't bet on Arizona again after that shellacking. That was just terrible.
You know, the only win that Arizona got was San Francisco.
I know.
At Levi Stadium.
Yeah.
I know. I just still, I can't do it. They've got a bad taste in my mouth right now after last week.
They were still feeling out CJ Beathard after Jimmy Grape's injury. There was a lot of turnovers in that game, and everybody wants out of Arizona.
Everybody wants to know what's going on in Arizona. Obviously, they fired the offensive coordinator last week. We're going to get David Johnson running. We're going to get Larry Fitzgerald running again, and. Oh, man. I wrote down San Francisco before you two even said anything, but now I'm thinking maybe I switch it, but maybe not. Maybe you've already taken my risk today, so I think I'll go with San Francisco as well.
The only ones we all agree on are the Washington Redskins and the San Francisco 49ers.
Good. I like this.
There it is. What's going on at the brewery there, Ollie?
Oh, man, just getting caught up on projects here and filling up a brand new warehouse full of beers. So,
any new releases coming up that we should look out for?
Not till January will our new releases be coming out. So right now it's just the Mocha Merlin is out and about and in full effect. So that beer is obviously, it's the one we teamed up with Honeyco, which is Scout Coffee. And so we've been adding 280 pounds of coffee to a 200-barrel batch of beer and 200 pounds of cocoa nibs to make a delicious milk stout So it's really good. If you get a chance, get out there and drink some of that.
When they built the new warehouse, did they have like a crossover period where they let you guys go out there and have like a nice little rave or something?
No, but they did want to have the anniversary party in it.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, we needed to get beer in there, so that wasn't going to happen. And the anniversary party's coming up in November here, so
and how does
look out for that too.
How does one go to that?
So if you come up here and you buy X amount of bottles, you will get into the party.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be a fun one.
What's X amount?
You got to go to the website for details.
Okay, all right. FirestoneWalkerBeer.com.
Well, you think he preps for this? No. He's thinking football, not Firestone. He's got to hang up and now think about Firestone.
I got to start doing that. All right, fellas.
Take care, bud.
Talk to you guys next week. Bye.
I want to say congratulations to Stephen Campbell, who went 13 out of 14 last week and was our Week 7 winner. Every week we give away out like $25 to one of your favorite restaurants. All you have to do is play. It's free. It takes minutes to sign up. KZOZ.com, brought to you by Firestone Walker Brew. New releases in January, so I guess we'll look forward to that.
I said FirestoneWalkerBeer.com. It's not. It's FirestoneBeer.com. And you can find out more about the 40th anniversary party right there. And what is currently in release, including the Luponic Distortion Series number 11 for all you fruity beer lovers out there.
All right. If you like this podcast, we release it every Wednesday afternoon. And you can always find it right here at KZOZ.com.